Is Meghan Markle's content strategy bound to fail, or is there still a possibility for her to recover? In recent months, she's garnered news not for her revolutionary ideas, but for the reaction to her social media postings and performances. Take the Labor Day Instagram stunt, for example. What started like a nice family moment swiftly turned into yet another PR disaster. But is Meghan's failure to remain relevant a symptom of broader issues in her approach to content creation? Let's delve in and take a deeper look at the true narrative behind the postings, the programs, and the mounting public dissatisfaction. On Labor Day, Meghan Markle uploaded what looked to be an ideal family moment. Her children, Archie and Lilibet, dressed in matched clothing, their grins surrounded by hearts to ensure their privacy. At first sight, it appeared lovely, even adorable. But look closely, and it's evident this wasn't simply a real family moment. This was a planned move, an effort to inject life into With Love, Meghan, a Netflix program that had already suffered its fair share of challenges. The children, lovely as they are, were put front and center, almost like a last-ditch attempt to gain attention for a series that had already faded off the radar. Meghan's admirers may have seen the photographs and smiled at the sweetness of it all, but for many, the contrived aspect of the post was impossible to miss. The timing couldn't have been worse. By the time the photographs reached Instagram, interest in the concert had already waned. What was meant to seem like a natural, uplifting moment came off more like a frantic effort to rescue something that had already failed to grab its audience. It didn't take long for critics to home in on Meghan's approach to content production, and one of the toughest voices came from Angela Levin, who didn't mince words. She labeled Meghan the laziest content creator ever. Ouch. But what's interesting is that this view isn't simply a random opinion. It represents a rising feeling among business insiders. Meghan's content approach has been accused for lacking depth, depending too much on visual appeal and emotional manipulation rather than substance or creativity. Her postings are painstakingly constructed to seem picture perfect. Her children, her family experiences, everything beautifully choreographed for social media. The problem? It's all surface level. There's no genuine involvement, no new ideas. Instead of taking chances or exploring new perspectives, Meghan's approach appears to be centered on one thing: looking nice. And that, according to detractors, is where the issue resides. This isn't about originality or new storytelling. It's about putting out material that looks lovely and grabs attention for a short moment, but lacks the permanent effect required to develop a brand. Meghan Markle has long been emphatic about the need of safeguarding her children's privacy, saying that they should be kept out of the public glare. But here's the twist. In the same breath, she's been exploiting those exact youngsters as crucial participants in her content strategy. The Labor Day Instagram photo, with its artfully placed hearts over their faces, effectively depicts this discrepancy. On one hand, Meghan wishes to hide her kids from the public's prying eyes. On the other, she's presenting them front and center for the world to see, because their attractiveness may draw likes, promote engagement, and possibly bring attention to a failing show. This discrepancy hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans and detractors alike have pointed out the blatant contradiction. It's impossible to take her views on privacy seriously when she's so prepared to sell her children as emotional currency for a PR boost. It paints a complicated and rather unpleasant picture of Meghan, someone who wants to control how her family is perceived, but yet intentionally utilizes that prominence when it suits her. The line between safeguarding them and promoting them becomes dangerously murky. Meghan Markle's approach of depending on pictures and Instagram perfect moments has prompted a lot of criticism. But there's a deeper problem at play. Style is no replacement for content. While her social media postings are definitely eye-catching, they sometimes lack the substance required to maintain long-term engagement. Whether it's a nice snapshot of her children or a meticulously orchestrated behind-the-scenes moment, it's all surface-level stuff. And regrettably, surface-level content doesn't endure. Take With Love, Meghan, for instance. Despite its professional appearance, the program has failed to capture its following. Season 2's mediocre reviews and bad Rotten Tomatoes score are a direct outcome of this style over substance approach. The photographs and postings could raise engagement for a short time, but when the real material falls flat, it becomes evident that no number of lovely family moments can rescue a program that has strong narrative or true connection with its viewers. The fact is impossible to ignore. With Love, Meghan simply isn't working. Season 2 has been a tremendous failure, and the Labor Day Instagram stunt couldn't conceal that. By the time Meghan tweeted those photographs of her children, the program had already sunk into oblivion. It wasn't the lift Meghan had hoped for. Instead of building hype before the release, the article just emphasized the show's lack of depth and inventiveness. This wasn't simply a solitary misstep. It was a part of a trend. From the uncomfortable behind-the-scenes encounters to the contrived family warmth, Meghan's efforts to revamp the program simply underlined its problems. The presence of her children, wonderful as they were, simply highlighted the dearth of true enthusiasm in the incidents themselves. It was like attempting to sell dessert before the meal. Sweet, but ultimately unsatisfactory. This isn't Meghan Markle's first rodeo when it comes to poor content. The pattern is apparent. From the fiasco of With Love, Meghan, to the negative reaction of her Spotify endeavor, Meghan continues to make the same errors. She initiates initiatives without considering long-term involvement or significant strategy. Instead, then concentrating on developing something original and creative, she depends on her fame and attractiveness to bear the weight. Even when her initiatives fail, Meghan appears to keep returning to the same tactics: Instagram postings, emotional experiences, and carefully crafted visuals, hoping they'll work this time. But viewers are starting to see through it. The absence of actual inventiveness and the misuse of old techniques have left fans disillusioned. Meghan has failed to learn from her previous errors, and the repercussions are piling up. With each new initiative, it's becoming evident that style alone is not enough to maintain a brand or a career. While Meghan's public image is carefully cultivated to portray elegance and control, behind the scenes, it's evident that the toll of repeated failures is beginning to wear on her. After Angela Levin's withering attack, calling Meghan the laziest content creator ever, there were tales of Meghan having a rare emotional breakdown. Tears, anger, and quiet introspection. For someone who has spent years shaping her story, this public criticism hurt deeply. What makes this emotional response more painful is the gap between Meghan's public demeanor and the reality of her hardships. She's always been the one in charge of the tale. But now, the relentless scrutiny of every post, every action, is taking a toll. The criticism is not only about her substance, but about her whole attitude to fame and family. As her children's photographs continue to be examined, the limits between privacy, notoriety, and commercialization grow ever more blurred. Meghan may have attempted to sell her postings as genuine family moments, but for many, it's now simply another calculated effort to remain relevant, and it's beginning to show. So, what's the lesson from Meghan Markle's recent failures in content creation? It's evident that style alone is no longer enough to maintain a brand, no matter how renowned you are. Meghan's dependence on crafted photographs, emotive moments, and the use of her children as props for interaction have shown a dangerous pattern, one where content takes a backseat to aesthetics. The Labor Day stunt may have been an effort to revitalize a sinking program, but it also revealed the larger issue: the absence of true originality and serious preparation in her ventures. In the realm of content development, where audience engagement is key, Meghan's approach is beginning to wear thin. She's not only experiencing a problem with her projects, she's dealing with the public's view of her brand, and that's more tougher to repair. The issue is, can she evolve? Can she get beyond the contrived moments and find a way to create something meaningful? Without an adjustment in tactics, it's feasible that Meghan Markle will not only be considered lazy, but she'll also be forgotten.